Alright, this is the video for the Punnett square practice problems, the first sheet that you're going to be putting into your notebook. So this first problem here, all these problems are done in the same way. So you're going to do the same order for each problem that you have. So in seals, the gene for the length of the whiskers has two alleles. The dominant allele is for long whiskers, and the recessive allele is for short whiskers. A heterozygous and homozygous recessive seal are crossed. So on your STAR test, these are the types of questions that they're going to be giving you, or they're going to be giving you the answers, and you have to figure out which answer was correct. So, or the results of the Punnett square, I'm sorry. So the first thing that you need to do is write down which allele is what. Sometimes they'll give you a letter and sometimes they won't, and if they don't give you one, you just have to make it up. The letters don't matter. All right, so the dominant allele, which is the capital letter, this is for long whiskers, and the recessive allele, which is the lowercase letter, this is for short. So now we know which letters are for what. It says a heterozygous and a homozygous recessive seal are crossed. So heterozygous is different, so you get one of each. Homo means the same, so homozygous recessive means two recessive genes. Okay, and then we're just gonna do our Punnett square. So I'm gonna draw my hashtag. I'm gonna put one letter in each box on the top, one on each of the side. Remember, these are gonna drop down and these are gonna slide over. So this G is gonna go here and here. This G is going to go here and here, and then these will go over. So this G here and here, and here and here. All right, so now we have our possible offspring. And then just answer the question. So what percentage of offspring would be expected to have long whiskers? So long whiskers is the capital G, and here out of these four, there are two, so that's a 50%. So there's a 50% chance that those seals would have long whiskers. And then it says list the genotypes of the long whiskered seals. In this case, there is only the one genotype, and that's the heterozygous. Okay. These next two problems are very similar to this. So in the alien species Weebles, 2 heads is dominant over 3 heads. So 2 heads is dominant over 3 heads. Okay, so now I have my alleles. If you cross a heterozygous Weeble with a homozygous dominant Weeble, what do you get? Okay, so heterozygous, one of each. Homozygous dominant, homo means the same, so that means there's 2 dominant alleles. Then I'm going to do my Punnett square. One parent there, one parent there. These drop down, these slide over, so this H goes here and here. This H goes here and here. This H slides over, and so does this one. Okay, now you answer the question. What are the genotypic results as a ratio? So it's asking about the letters, and it's asking to write it as a ratio. So out of these 4, these 2 are the same, and these 2 are the same. So that would be a 2 to 2 ratio, except ratios are like fractions, and so you can reduce them. So it's a 1 to 1 ratio of genotypes. So now the second part is asking about the phenotype. And that's asking about if you looked at these Weebles, what would you see? So in this case, all 4 choices have at least one dominant allele. That means when you look at any of those kids, they're going to have 2 heads. So 4 of them have 2 heads to 0 of them with 3 heads. Okay. And our last one for this page. So in Oompa Loompas, green hair is dominant to white hair. If a female white-haired Oompa Loompa marries a male who is homozygous from green hair, what do we get? Okay, So you can see in this time, they didn't give you a letter. I always use the letter E because it's easy to tell the capital from the lowercase apart. Good choices are also like A, B, not C, D, F, G's, H's, things that are very, like you wouldn't want to pick X because capital X and lowercase x can look the same when you're writing them. So I always pick E, so I'm just going to do E. You can do whatever letter you want, it does not matter. Okay, so the dominant trait is green hair, and white hair is the recessive trait. Okay, now the parents, the female has, white hair. Okay, in order for her to have white hair, she has to have both recessive genes, and then he's homozygous for green hair. Homo means the same. He's got the dominant trait, so he has 2 dominant alleles. All right, so now that I know my parents, I'm going to draw my Punnett square. 1 allele for each box. These are going to fall down. These are going to slide over, and remember, traditionally the capital letter always goes first. It doesn't actually make a difference in the results though. All right, so what percentage of their children will be heterozygous? Heterozygous means you have a dominant and a recessive trait. So that's 4, which is 100%. What percentage of their children will have green hair? Okay, so green hair is the dominant trait. So they have to have at least 1 dominant allele. All 4 do. So 100% of these Oompa Loompas are going to have green hair. Now, if they have children and they have a child that has white hair, like we said, that person's not the father. So this, once you have gone through this and you have this as your examples, you're going to take that into your notebook and then go on to the next part, which is completing the other practice questions on this worksheet.